Have you ever wondered how to talk to a motivated seller? Well, then this is the video for you. Hey, what is going on, everyone? Devin Knupp here with another video inside the college dorm. Just recording some videos. I'm actually recording a few so that way I can upload them in the next upcoming days. I am traveling to Oregon, trying to make things work, trying to really just grow this YouTube channel, kind of start networking out, really just trying to meet so many people watching this videos, as well as try to provide massive value, because I'm trying to answer a lot of the questions that I personally had when I was getting started as a real estate wholesaler, because there's so many questions you have to ask. Like, I get all the time, like, oh, is that a scam? Oh, like, how do I answer a phone call? Oh, the list goes on, essentially. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking with you guys about how to talk to a motivated seller on the phone, or just a person with a property, and just see if they're interested in selling the property. Because all the time we talk to people that aren't really all that interested in selling their house at a discount. And it takes a certain type of person that we work with as a real estate wholesaler, and this kind of little script that I'm using, it really will just guide you in that direction to figuring out whether they're motivated or not when you need to set up an appointment, and just get the ball rolling to just start doing some real estate wholesaling deals. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the thumbs up button. That really means a lot to me, as well as if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to hit me in the comments down below, as well as feel free to slide in the DMs and message me if you have any questions whatsoever. So let's get into it. This is how I get onto the phone with somebody that is wanting to sell their property. And so there's a lot of gold nuggets in this video. Feel free to take notes and everything, maybe watch it a few times. And then this is kind of what I do. This is what I teach my acquisitions managers and everything. So that way we can find more deals, find more motivated sellers, and make that money. And so before I get started, make sure that you're smiling and being conversational when you talk to them. The reason being is because we want to build massive rapport from the get-go. How do you sell a house at a discount, and why would they want to work with me? If you start building rapport and just building that relationship and everything, then they are more and more interested in selling their house at a discount to you, and they feel a lot better about it when they're working with you and everything, because people want to sell or buy to the people that they trust. So initially, how I start, I say, "Hi, this is Devin. I was calling you back about the property that you had available." Now, the reason why I say call you back is because most times I usually have them go to voicemail, so that way I can figure out how to answer calls and everything, especially with the busy schedule that I have. And then I make sure to answer the calls within 20 minutes, just so that way I can keep that competitive edge against my competitors, as well as keep that relationship going and rolling and everything. And so they'll be like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, I got that property and everything." And then what you want to do is hit them with, "Sounds like I caught you in the middle of something." And the reason why you do this, you want to kind of just pull away. And it's kind of like a dog, honestly. When you start running away from a dog, they chase you. But if you run after the dog, they run away. So what we're doing is we're running away from the dog, which in return is the seller. And so we're running away from them, and then they'll be like, "No, you're good. Like I was just getting some food or whatever." They'll make up something that then it kind of shows their motivation. If they're like, "Oh yeah, it sounds like I'm in the middle of something," be like, "Okay, call me back. I'll call you back later," and then just hang up and kind of move on. What's nice about all these questions is that you can really just tell if they're motivated or not, and it really just saves you time. This is really a big time saver. So that way you can go talk to the next person that's interested in selling their property, because you're going to be talking to a lot of people. And so the next question you want to ask them, if they aren't in the middle of something, is, "Can you tell me a little bit about the property?" And then they'll start telling you, kind of rumbling on. And so you kind of just at least getting some of the finer details, like information, facts about the property. I usually have a notepad in front of me, write all this information down, so that way I can kind of figure out what I'm working with when I'm pulling comps and everything, as well as what type of repairs need to be made, so I can give them so I can have like a number in my head what I need to work with. And so the next part of it, like after whatever they say about it, be all like, "It sounds like a great property. Why would you consider selling it?" You want to add that really curiosity aspect to it. And then just kind of act like a child when you start getting to this point. And so what I mean by that is they're going to tell you some sort of reason. More times than not, it's some sort of BS excuse. Just like, oh, I got a new job. Or it's kind of like super surface layer. And then you want to just get down into the finer details, the nitty gritty. And so I kind of try to push them towards like trying to figure out a little bit more about their life, building that rapport in this part of the conversation. Just really trying to get them to open up, and so that way I can get a little bit more information on why they're trying to sell the property. So usually what I do is if they're like, oh, like I'm moving to Colorado to get a new job, and they'll be like, oh, no way, we're at Colorado. I grew up there, which I did. And then they'll be like, oh, like Denver, and then I can be like, oh yeah, I played baseball tournaments all the time out in Denver. I miss it out there. I kind of honestly want to move out there as well in the future. It's like a nice area and everything. And then just be conversational. And then I've had this happen many, many times, and then they'll be all like, well, we had a death in the family, so we're kind of moving out to Denver to help out with some things. That shows that's a reason for motivation right there. That's why they want to sell their property at a discount, and why you want to work with them, and why you should move the deal forward with that. And then after this part, after you kind of figure out why they consider selling their property, then I move forward to, what do you think the property is worth? And then they'll tell you some sort of number or whatnot. And then from there, I usually ask them like, how did you arrive at that number? If they say like, oh, they look at Zillow. If they ever say they look at Zillow, don't ever trust the number. Nine times out of 10, the number is wrong. If they had an appraiser walk through and everything, then you can kind of expect a little bit more out of it and everything. And so on top of that, you want to ask them, what kind of repairs does the property need? So that way you can kind of get a little rough estimate ballpark inside of your head of what needs to be fixed. More times than not, though, they're going to lowball how many repairs or how bad they need to be and everything. So kind of just expect the number to be a little bit higher. And just from experience, you kind of learn what those numbers are, like how much your roof is and everything, by just talking to a lot of people, talking to a lot of investors, seeing properties. There's not really any defined way other than just experience and talking to other people. And so it's different in every market, and you can kind of really just tell after seeing all these properties, and then you can see what you have to work with and everything as far as numbers go. We should be a straight shooter on this one, and don't really beat around the bush. You need to ask them, how much do you owe on the property? And so that way you can kind of figure out how much margins you have to work with. Now let's say the property is worth $100,000 and they owe $110,000 on it. More times than not, we can't wholesale a property. We can't really work with that sort of deal. So that's kind of what we're using it to fill in the blanks and see if they are a potential client to work with and everything. Now this one I ask all the time after, even if I'm not talking to them on the phone, I ask them in person and everything. And so this one, you need to really kind of say it the way that I do. The reason being is kind of like how you pause and everything. You want to pause on the positives, not the negatives of this line. So it's kind of a little bit of a runoff sentence, but it's gold. So if I could pay all cash and close quickly, what would be the best price you would consider, considering I would pay for all the closing costs and there would be no real estate commission to pay? And if you noticed, when I came over the part where I was saying what would be the best price you would consider, I kept the ball moving and everything and saying if I paid for all the closing costs and there would be no real estate commission to pay. And so this one, they'll give you a number. Let's say the property is worth $100,000 and they're like, oh, $80,000. And so what you want to do immediately, you need to take action on this part right away after you talk to them about it and they say a number. You want to actually pretend like you're thinking about the number. Sometimes I actually am, but more times than not so much. I already know what I'm working towards, or I'm just trying to get them down lower. You never say yes to the first number. That's how negotiation works. The first person to the first number, you can always get lower. You can always get lower. Nobody is ever a straight shooter, especially in this business and everything. And so what you want to do is be all like, $80,000. $80,000. Mr. Seller, is that the best you can do? And kind of really just get like, as if you're really, really thinking about it and trying to understand their situation, and just seeing if that works for you. Obviously, we're not buying the property ourselves sometimes, so it doesn't really matter that much. But we're just trying to figure out if we can get them down. Now, this is really key into finding the motivation in the seller. Now, if they come back to you and just like, you're right. I think $70,000 would work for me. They just dropped the price $10,000. I've had that countless amount of times, and you really want to just keep working them down. If they'll drop once, more times than not, they will drop a few more times, and you can really work with them, work them down. Especially, you can just really base off their motivation off of this one little part of working with them on the phone and in person. And so you may have to do it a couple more times. Be like, if they say 70,000, be like, okay, 70,000. Is that the best you can do? You want to keep asking until they give you a firm number. And once you get that firm number, you know what you have to work with, which you can negotiate and everything, and how much money you can make off of this deal, whether or not it's worth your time. And so you want to jump into, oh, may I have the address of the property? And then if they ask you why you don't have the address and whatnot, just be like, oh, I lost it in my notes or whatever, unless you have it in front of you. And so that way you can do your own research and everything. And then you also want to ask them, what is the best way to get in contact with you? More times than not, it's the number that you talked with them on the phone. Then what I've been having my acquisition managers and everything, lead manager, ask is, do you have an email address where I can send you an offer? The reason email address is it's way easier to send them the offers and everything, and if they want to sign it, or just get an email address. It doesn't hurt to ask, and if they don't have one, oh well, you have their phone number at least. But it's really just working with what you got, and that's about it, guys. That's what I use. That's what I teach people that are working under me to use as the script for answering phone calls, talking to motivated sellers. If you guys have any questions at all about this video, please feel free to drop down in the comments. I'll make sure to check them. I read all you guys' comments, and I'll respond appropriately. Like always, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the thumbs up button. And I really appreciate you guys for watching my videos. Thank you so much, and I hope I can teach you guys how to do your first real estate wholesaling deal, and maybe mentor some of you guys and just really get you guys to progress onto that next level stuff. It's been a pleasure making these videos and everything. I look forward to making future videos. I hope you guys are looking forward to watching some of them. And like always, I will see you in the next video. Peace.